Internets, without
No more child support.
Without further ado, I'm so glad and pleased to introduce our next guest to the Combat Jack Show, Charlamagne the God.
Yo.
Cheers. What's going on,
Combat
sir?
Jack, what's up, my brother?
Man, you know, we doing it, man. I'm
Absolutely.
so happy you came through, man.
No, I'm a fan. You know, I've been checking you for a minute.
Stop lying.
I dead ass serious.
Word?
That's why I came. Angela was like, yo, I remember you had her on the Combat Jack Show. I'm like, well, damn, why he ain't invite me? I invite all of us. You know what I mean?
I thought y'all was too fancy. Seriously.
Nah, absolutely
But
not.
it's a great honor to have you, man.
I'm raised on a dirt road in Mounts Corner, South Carolina, man. I used to eat roadkill, you know?
Really?
That's my father.
What was roadkill?
Roadkill's like possums and raccoons and squirrels on the side of the road.
Okay.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. My father used to always say, if you see roadkill on the side of the road, touch it. If it's cold, leave it there. If it's warm, it's dinner.
Now, what was the population of your town, man? Roughly.
Maybe a few thousand.
Few thousand. So
Maybe.
everybody knew everybody.
Everybody knew each other.
How many siblings did you have, man?
2 brothers, 2 sisters.
Now, how was your household?
Household was good. Like, my pops was there. You know, my pops was in the house. My mom was in the house. Then my pops started cheating on my mom.
Oh, really?
So you know, they've been divorced for like 14, 15 years now. But when he started cheating on her, that's when shit got a little rocky. But yeah, other than that, it was good.
I tried to find some information on you online, and there's nothing on you other than interviews and shit.
That's because I'm not so caught up in myself that I put my own information out there. All them Wikipedia
there's
pages
no
and all that,
Wikipedia
people
on
do
you,
that themselves.
but that made it so much harder to do research on you, man.
Absolutely.
So I understand you grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household.
My mother was a Jehovah's Witness. My father was a Jehovah's Witness too, but he had a drug habit. You know, he was on coke for a little while, and so you know, but that's what kind of got him getting into the Kingdom Hall and stuff like that. And then my father started studying Islam. My grandmother was a Baptist, so I was real well rounded with all different facets of religion. You know.
So you had the Muslim influences, and you had the Jehovah's Witness influence.
Saturday we was going to field service, and then, you know, during the week my pops had me watching like Malcolm X speeches and Minister Farrakhan speeches, and my grandmother was hitting me with Bible scriptures, you know.
So now, from what I understand, you're a Muslim, or you're practicing Muslim?
I mean, the word Muslim just means someone who is in submission to the will of God. But then, I mean, you can say I'm a Jehovah's Witness too, because I'm a witness to the Jehovah's great glory. So it's like I don't like to claim any particular denomination. I think religion kind of puts you in a box. You know, I'm just a spiritual person. You know, I know that it's a higher power, and I acknowledge that higher power. Whatever I choose to call them, I might call them Jehovah one day, I might call them Allah the next day. It's just I'm just a spiritual person.
That's a good thing, man. Now, what I'm getting from you, like, you know, people have this preconception or like this preconceived notion of you that, you know, you're a rabble rouser, you're a shock jock, but you speak a lot of intelligence, man.
Yeah, I don't like that term shock jock, because I don't believe it's no value in shock.
Right.
You know, they got that phrase shock value. I don't believe it's no value in shock. You know, people that say things just to get a rise out of people, or you know, just say things to try to rile people up, that's whack. You know what I mean? I just speak my honest truth. You know, good, bad, and indifferent.
Now,
you know?
growing up, what'd you want to be, man?
Alive, you know. I you know, it's funny because like I never really had a passion for anything other than radio, and that's when I got into radio. You know, I just had a passion to want to be successful. At one point I wanted to rap. You know what I'm saying?
Did you write some bars?
I used to write bars.
Bars or struggle bars, B?
Yeah, they were struggle bars. I mean, I always had a way with words. It's just that I couldn't really deliver them the right way, you know? So I had the lyrics. I just couldn't deliver them the right way. But I don't know. I mean, I worked at Taco Bell growing up. I worked at Paragon Solutions. That was a telemarketing place. I worked at Demo in the mall. I worked at the warehouse. I worked at a flower garden. I sold crack. I sold weed.
Now, yeah, I wanted to talk about that, man. Like, you kind of did some hustling back in the day, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been...
Now, was that because of your desire to be successful, or was it because you didn't have anything else?
Nah, it was environment. Because my mother was a school teacher. You know, once my pops got his act together, you know, he had his construction company, and, you know, he always had little businesses like fish markets and little clubs, so I didn't have to do that. Right. You know, but it was just more so my environment, you know, growing up in a small town, growing up around all your family members, your cousins, your friends, you know, they was all doing it. So it was like, you know. So you were influenced. Influenced. Like one day my dude put a $100 slab in my hand. $100 slab is when you know, so it's like a gram. You break it up. You're supposed to make $200 off. You spend 100, make 200. So he did that. Next thing you know, I flipped that into a quarter spoon, which is 7 grams. Spend 250. You're supposed to make 500 off it, and I just kept doing it. How long did you do that, man? I did it for a few years. Really? I did it till I got tired of getting arrested. Carter bill? Yeah, now, how often did you get arrested, man? Oh man, first time I went to jail for assault and battery with intent to kill. I was that you bust a gat or was shooting the guns? Now what was you shooting, man? Stupid shit over. Listen, we in some, because I got kicked out of one school. I went to Berkeley High School in Mounts Corner, South Carolina. So I got kicked out of that school. So they sent me to the school. My mother was teaching at Stratford High School, and I was just there. And you know, it was like with your mom's. Yeah. So now how's that?
Being in the same school with your mom.
It was supposed to keep me on the right path, but it really got me more crazy because I used to call that school 90210.
Okay.
So if you come from where I come from, it's like, I'm the toughest nigga in the school. You know what I'm saying? So, I started, peddling my little weed or whatever, and people knew I used to have the weed. So I was in this neighborhood, kicking it with this chick, and these dudes that went to the school were riding around the neighborhood, and I guess they was mad I was there. So they rolled by, and I cursed them out. Then I went to McDonald's. I'm leaving McDonald's. They come back with Big Brother. Big Brother leaning out the window, cursing at us. Mind you, I'm like 16, 17.
Right.
They cursing at us. I'm like, nigga, that's when we was riding around watching Juice and listening to Mobb Deep. Nigga, I'm on this E&J smoking this weed. I got my little 38 with me. My man got his little 25, and
You just let off.
Yeah. And that shit, they came and arrested me that very next day. That was a Sunday. They came and got me from high school.
Damn. Now, were you scared or nervous, or was just
I didn't
just
understand. I didn't understand the consequences of my actions. That's why a lot of times when I go talk to these kids, man, in these schools, it's like, and even when you see these stories on the news about these kids getting in trouble, these kids don't really understand the consequences of their actions. Because I didn't understand. I just thought like, all right, I'm in trouble. They took me from my classroom, took me to the principal's office, put me in handcuffs. Now I'm in jail. I'll be home in a few hours.
So this was routine for you. This was back in
that was the first time.
Right.
But it was routine for a couple years.
Okay, and then what changed, man?
I just decided I wanted to make a change. I always say, man, when you want to change your life, you got to change your lifestyle.
Right.
So it was just, and I started studying 5%, lessons of Islam, and I read a book called From Niggas to Gods, and then I started to look around in my environment, and I always said, man, smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So I started looking at like my older cousins, who I thought was cool, when I was younger, and I started looking at them when they started getting in their 20s, and them niggas was washed.
Right.
It was bums, washed. You know what I mean? Sitting under the tree.
Their lives already done.
Yeah, looking terrible.
Right.
And so they was doing the same things that I was doing then, and I realized, man, if I keep on this same path, I'm going to end up just like them niggas. So it was like, I decided to do everything opposite of what everybody was doing in the hood.
Which was what, though?
Stop drinking.
Okay.
Stop smoking.
Now, was that hard for you, though?
Not really. It wasn't.
Because you would imagine that when you're in a certain trajectory, when you got that momentum, a lot of people say they want to change their lives, but it's a real difficult thing to change the direction of the path that you're already on.
It's very true, but there was certain things that caused me to change. Like when I got put on probation, I don't want to be taking these pills and being paranoid when you go to the probation office to the piss test and all that. So I just stopped smoking, and then I just quit drinking because I never really was a big drinker. Anyway, I'm more of a drinker now than I was back then.
Angela Yee got you on that
Angela Yee, you know who really got me drinking crazy again? Wendy Williams. When I came up here to start doing radio with Wendy.
Okay.
Because I was not drinking nothing until I got back up here. But, it was just, I stopped doing all that, and then I just stopped hanging out, stopped hanging with them. You know what I mean? I stopped.
You got focused.
So that's when I went. I just started, like I said, started picking up any old odd job that would hire me. I worked at my first job was at a warehouse. Then I worked at a flower garden. Then I worked at Taco Bell because my sister was a manager there, my older sister. Then I worked at Demo in the mall. Then I worked at a telemarketing place. Then I met this dude named Willie Will one day.
DJ Willie Will, right?
DJ Willie Will.
Yes.
He's from Charleston, South Carolina. I don't know where he at now, but at the time he was doing radio in Charleston.
Okay.
So I met him through this record label that was kind of courting me in the hood, this record label called Never So Deep Records, and that's when I used to. I
remember Never So Deep.
Yeah, I can curse.
Yeah, this is internet.
Okay, when I used to bullshit with the rap, so I was like, "How'd you get in the radio?" And Will was like, "Yeah, I started off as an intern." And I was like, "So I can just go down to the radio station and get an internship?" And he was like, "Yeah." So it was really just that easy. I went down to the radio station and got an internship.
Now, how was that experience? Like, did you know what you were getting into, or was this an eye-opening experience?
It was just more so of wanting to do something positive. Like, I always say life is all about energy. You know what I'm saying? You got to use, positive energy or negative energy can craft your reality.
Right.
So I just wanted to be doing something positive. I just wanted to stay on that positive path. So I felt like with all these odd jobs, I was just creating a constructive energy around me. So being at the radio station was just more constructive energy. Because you talking about a guy that was from the hood peddling crack. Like, oh, okay, now I'm up at the radio station now. With people I've been listening to my whole life. Like, how'd I end up here? So I started taking it serious, but I ended up getting let go from the internship because one of the interns filed a sexual harassment suit against the...
Come on, man.
Yeah, against the promotions director.
Okay, not you.
Not me, this chick. So I was back on the dirt road in Moscona, South Carolina, still working my odd jobs, but not doing no radio. And then like 6-7 months later, I reached back out. Are y'all gonna start the internships back? And the new promotions director was like, "Yo, man, why don't you come up here? I heard a lot about you, dude named Haji." So I came up here. He ended up giving me a job. So it was like I was an intern, but I was getting paid to be an intern. Same things, driving the station vehicle, going to set up remotes, helping the jocks at remotes and stuff like that. And I've been doing it ever since. That was 98.
Now, how do you adjust from, in a sense, being a bully, being a troublemaker, making fast cash, and busting your guns, to now doing this work where it's hard work, but you're not getting any money? How do you adjust?
It wasn't even about the money. It was about the opportunity. Right. I've always been the type of person, I have futuristic vision. You know what I mean? I always, see things before they happen. So, I mean, I knew what my plan was. When I started off as an intern in 98 in the promotions department, when I started off as an intern and I went to the promotions department, my man, Ron White, he was the music director at the time. And I remember him saying, yo, you want to be on the air? And I was like, hell yeah. And it's not that something I had ever thought of, but I was open to any opportunity that was positive. So I started voice tracking on Sunday mornings, and that voice tracking, that's when I really started saying, yo, I can do this radio thing. Cause I remember doing my first break, and even though it was voice track, a young lady named Tessa Spencer, who still does mornings in Charleston, she called me and was like, yo, you sound good. She's like, no, you sound really good. And I was like, all right, thank you.
So you got bit by the bug.
I got bit by the bug.
Right.
Bit by the bug.
Now here you are, man, in this small town. Did you ever envision that you'd be in New York City?
Absolutely.
You knew you were going to be there.
It was the law of attraction before I even knew what the hell the law of attraction was.
Okay, so take us through that journey, man, while you're on the air. And how do you get here, man?
I feel like I got an addictive personality. Well, meaning when I get involved in something, I get addicted to it.
Right.
And I want to be the best at whatever I do. So when I started catching that bug, and then they started letting me go live on the air, and I used to always sit back and listen to other radio.
Now what slot were you in?
I did Saturday 7 to midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday 7 to midnight.
And you started growing an audience?
Yeah.
And dealing with live calls on the whole night?
Yeah, all of that. And it's just like I used to just talk. Like it wasn't no... I used to listen to other radio personalities and watch other television personalities and be saying to myself, damn, why are they just not having a conversation? And why are they not asking the most obvious questions and saying the most obvious things?
Why do things seem so fake?
Why do they seem so fake? Why do they not have an opinion?
I'll tell you, the ladder sometimes seems like a big climb, because I think that when you look ahead, like somebody gets a chance at radio and they're always looking at the bigger people in that station and what they're doing instead of focusing on how they could get there. Sometimes
focusing on your craft. Like I always say, there's no such thing as competition.
Yeah.
You're your own competition. I didn't realize that then. At that point, I wanted to be doing the morning show. I felt like I was better than all of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, were you really better than them, or you just needed to?
You know what? Maybe I had the raw talent, but technically I wasn't. And that's one thing I learned slowly but surely. It was little things you learn, like just having a more conversational tone, just the technical aspects of radio. So as I got better at that, now that I look back upon it, you realize, like, okay, I understand why that didn't happen then and why it's happening now. You got to grow and evolve in your craft.
Now, let me ask you another question, man. How'd you get the name? Is that your name, Charlamagne?
Nah, my real name is Leonard. I got the name Charlamagne because, like I said, I'm from a small town. So when I used to hustle, me and my dudes, we used to have, you have your little crews or whatever, so we used to call ourselves the infamous Buddha heads. I mean, it's some corny shit now, but like I used to be like, we all used to smoke a lot of weed.
Right.
So I used to
listen to Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep, fam.
Yeah. So I used to be Charlie Chronic. My man was like Matthew Marijuana, Ichabodism, dumb shit. Dumb young shit.
That's not dumb, though. I mean, that's Ichabodism is kind of hot. What's Ichabodism doing right now, B?
I don't know. I ain't talked to my man Joe in a minute. Shout out to my man Joe. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but it's like we used to be there. And so, like, I never used to tell the Fiends my real name. Right. Because, it's a small town. I looked just like my pops. So they'd be like, that's Larry's son. So I used to have a hoodie on, and I'd be like, yo, my name is Charles or Charlie. Right. And so the Fiends would come and like, yo, can I speak to Charlie? Whatever. So then when I was in night school, after I got kicked out of all the high schools, I was in night school and I was reading a history book, and I read up on Charlamagne the Great. He was a emperor who had a high respect for religion and education, but he was also a great warrior. And Charlamagne was French for Charles the Great. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start calling myself Charlamagne.
And when did you add on the God?
When I started studying the 5% lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with all this experience, man, you got a whole lot of experience, man. Coming into radio, particularly with the experience we had on the street, man. Did you, once you started coming into this game, man, did you feel that people were full of shit in this industry?
I still feel like people are full of shit. And I don't feel, I know.
Right. And is that what drives you to do what you do also, man?
I mean, I'm just a people person. Right. You know what I mean? I'm in the barbershop. You know what I mean? I'm still home in South Carolina. I'm in Jersey with my Haitian dudes. Like we have regular conversations. So those regular conversations we have when we're in the car, we have in the barbershop, I want to have those conversations when I'm on the radio, because I'm not talking to the industry. I'm talking to the listeners. Right. And that's the problem with just a lot of people in the game. They get in these positions and they start doing everything for the industry. For what?
Start acting all weird and all types of shit. Yeah.
We don't do this for the industry. We do this for the people.
Exactly. So okay. I'm jumping all over the place, but what's your first big break, man?
My first big break. My first big break was I gotta say, every break was big, because like I said, I was doing part-time at Z93 Jams in Charleston. Then a new radio station popped up, Hot 98.9 in Charleston. So they hired me to be a full-time radio personality. That was my first chance getting a full-time gig Monday through Friday.
And you're getting checks now.
Getting checks, and plus I was doing A&R work for Never So Deep Records. They was a subsidiary of MCA, so that allowed me at a young age to go travel and, just see a lot of different things from that side of the game.
Who were some of the groups that you were A&R for, man?
We had an artist named Infinity the Ghetto Child. He was from Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. That was like our one and only project. He had a song with Casey and JoJo back in the day.
Okay.
But, that was like, he's nobody. Right. I mean, that's my man and all, but, he never popped off.
He never popped, right.
Yeah.
No shots.
You still speak to him?
Yeah, every now and then he's still trying to get on the rap game.
Try to borrow some money from you now.
Nah, I'm trying to tell him that rap shit is over. That shit is dead.
Oh, he's still trying to rap?
Yeah, man, it's over, man.
Oh, man.
You in your late 30s.
His name's still Infinity the Ghetto Child?
Infinity the Ghetto Child.
No.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
forever the Ghetto Child.
Yeah. Your name is
what you are. You labeled yourself.
There it is.
So it's like, I feel like every break was big. I went from that. I got fired from that job, Hot 99 in Charleston. I got fired from there. Then ended up getting put on in Columbia, South Carolina at the Big DM. And, I was there for like about a year, and then that station flipped formats, and then Inner City Broadcasting bought the rival station in that market, Hot 103.9, so I ended up going to work over there.
Okay.
Then I got fired from there.
Now, are you getting fired because of the changes that are going on administratively, or are you getting fired because you're getting fired?
Well, yeah, the first time I got fired in Hot 99, I was administrative change. Like, that's one thing about radio. Like, the program director that hires you, that's like your coach. He brings in his team. He gets the people that he wants. So when they bring in another program director, he'll get rid of people. So that's what it was. Even though I had the #1 show in the city, me and the program director used to butt heads, because the program director at the time, I'm not going to say his name because that's my man right now, but he knows who he is. But he was a cokehead.
Right.
And I knew he was a cokehead. So I was like, nigga, I'm not about to be your motherfucker. I can't take orders from you and you out here.
You wouldn't do no lines with him?
Nah.
You wasn't fucking with that
smoked coke before. I smoked coke with weed, but I ain't never sniffed
Wu-Tang, a Wu-banger?
Yeah, I had a Wu. Absolutely.
Yo, them shits are crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. What? Best high of my life, my nigga. That's why I tell people all the time, motherfuckers be like, yo, coke is no good. I'm like, that's some bullshit. That shit is good.
Yo, the last time I
smoked... That shit ain't good for you, but that shit is good, nigga.
The last time I smoked a Wu-banger was in a Pontiac Fiero. You know what I mean? You ever see them joints?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I smoked one by accident. I was in the room with some dudes, and they were smoking. It was some older cats from New York, matter of fact, in Mount Scotia, South Carolina, and they were just passing the weed around. And when I think about it now, I'm like, you can smell it now. I'm like, I smoked the fucking Wu. No wonder
the ash stays forever.
No wonder I was so fucking high.
Damn.
But
so you were talking about, you discovered that he was a cokehead.
Yeah, he was a cokehead. So I wasn't taking orders from him. So me and him used to butt heads. So he ended up getting rid of me. So I was out of radio for a minute. Then I went to the Big DM in Columbia. Then I went to Hot 103.9 in Columbia. Got fired from there because it was a club owner who was fucking putting date rape drug in girls' drinks.
Really?
And everybody used to know about it, but nobody could ever prove it. Then one day a girl actually went to press charges. He got arrested. They came to his house, investigated, found the date rape drug and all that. I put the link was public information. I put it up on my MySpace page. Right. I didn't even get on the radio and say it because I knew he was advertising the station. I put it up on my MySpace page. This motherfucker sues me and the station. Sues me personally and the station, and says even though
for libel and slander.
Yeah, even though he was arrested for it, I shouldn't have put it out there. I'm like, it's public information. So instead of the station fighting it, I guess it was just cheaper for them to settle. They settled for like $2,000.
Right. Okay.
And at the time, I was on 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. They demoted me to 1 day a week. And then
so you're really working through the underbelly of radio, B.
Absolutely.
Like through the underbelly. It's not all the glitter and glamour. It's the underbelly of that shit.
I've been fired 4 times.
4 times.
I've been doing radio 14 years, since 98. I'm 32. Okay. I just turned 32. I've been doing
radio 4 times ain't bad out of 14 years.
You know what? Let's go to a music break. You tuned into the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm. F your radio. Charlamagne, you're taking us through this journey, man, about how you make it to the mecca of radio that is New York, man. Talking about the coke heads and the rapists and the whole nine. You've seen a lot of crazy shit, man. Yeah. So continue taking us down this journey, man.
Well, you know, when after that happened, after the guy sued me and they put me on 1 day a week, this is when Wendy Williams had just got syndicated in our market, on Hot 103.9 in Columbia, South Carolina. So I was just a fan of Wendy growing up, I was always. So me and her.
Who else were you listening to that at the time?
Star and Buck.
Star and Buck, wow, were great, weren't they?
Wendy Williams, Howard Stern.
Who put you on to Howard Stern, man?
I mean, I'm the type of person, I study my craft. Right. So once I got in the radio, I always said to myself, I want to be a super jock. I didn't want to be just, a jock in, doing radio in South Carolina, just, opening the mic. I always wanted to be that super jock. So I used to study all the greats. Tom Joyner, Doug Banks, Big Boy in L.A., Sway. You know what I'm saying? Howard Stern, even Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly. I love all of them on the radio. Yeah, Star and Buck, Wendy, all of them. So I just used to study my craft.
Let me ask you something. With Sway, did you ever see him without a hat on?
Never seen Sway without a hat on. You know when that MTV shit happened and Little Mama bum rushed the stage?
Yeah.
She was hiding under Sway's hat the whole time.
Yo, let me tell you, I mean, jokes could go on for days and days. What's under Sway's hat, man? I feel like there's like a pound of weed under there. Some spam.
It's probably just cotton, man.
Whatever.
Spiders. No shots of my man Sway.
Nah, Sway's cool people. I seen him wear a couple of weeks ago with Blaze and Bun. We were out in...
during the heat wave.
I don't know about no heat wave.
No, you was hanging out during the heat wave. He still had that big ass hat on.
I don't know. I mean,
whatever's under there, I need it because Sway been around for a long time.
I mean, there's got to be some coins under there, $2 bills.
So you were talking about Wendy, man?
Yeah. So Wendy put out an album back in the day called Wendy Williams Brings the Heat Volume 1. I think this was like maybe 2004.
Okay.
2004, 2005. So I had a promotions and
I never listened to it.
Yeah, I had a promotions and marketing company, and she came down to do her album release party. My people did the album release party, so we just connected on some real nigga shit. I got the weed for them. They bought me bottles in the club.
She was burning it down.
Yeah, we just was cool. Well, me and her husband was actually more Kevin. Yeah, me and Kevin was more cool than her at the time, because I remember the first time I met Wendy, she came to the station. I'm like a fan. I'm like, yo, Wendy, what's up? I'm a big fan of yours. Whatever.
And she's like, whatever.
Yeah, she was like, get the fuck out of this. Straight up, she was like, get the fuck out of this studio, man. I'm trying to do my motherfucking show. I'm like, all right, no doubt. But then me and Kev, connected, and I remember, when that whole shit happened with me, when I got demoted to 1 day a week, I called Kev and told him, and Kev was like, yo, come up here next week. We having a party.
Wow.
So I came up here for the party, and then me and Wendy was in the club. Wendy was like, yo, come on my show tomorrow. And I'm like, all right. So I came on the show.
That's crazy, dude.
I came on the show and never left.
Now,
literally, that was like the end of 04.
Come on, man.
I know.
Just because we got special guests don't mean you need to sleep on the pause.
Listen, never hold back from this dude.
You came on the show and there's no fucking pause.
Listen.
Yeah, you know what I hate about that pause shit? And I used to do it a lot, too. If you like pussy, you don't got to pause nothing, man.
You know what, man? We just silly here. We're just silly. We don't.
Well, some shit is definitely plausible. I mean, some shit is definitely plausible. But I mean, sometimes you get. Listen, I try to contain the pause deputy role here, but some shit slips by me.
You've been faulty, man.
I mean, listen.
You've been faulty, but anyway.
He mentioned Wu Bangers. I don't know what's going on now.
So you're on Wendy's show.
Absolutely.
And what's going on through your mind, B? Like, is there any types of nervousness, any types of jitters, any types of like, I don't know if I could cut this?
Nah, because I'm a stern believer in, like, every place I end up, that's where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And I mean, shit, I worked for Wendy for 1.5 years and never even got a paycheck. I was just doing that for the straight.
Right.
I know where this can take me. Like, you don't go from Market 89 in South Carolina to Market number 1, and I'm sitting next to Wendy Williams, the legendary Wendy Williams.
And everybody was afraid of Wendy.
Absolutely.
Everybody was afraid of Wendy, man.
And the crazy thing about it, her producers and everything were listening to my interviews, because I was utilizing the internet in South Carolina. That's the only way I was getting heard on a national level. That's when all hip-hop was really popping. So I would send all my interviews to, like, Grouchy Greg and Ill Seed and Steve raised them, and they would post my shit in the rumor section. So that's when people started to hear about me. Like, whether it was the interview with Buffy the Body where I made her curse me out. And
what'd you do to Buffy the Body, man?
I told her the truth. I was like, yo, wouldn't you rather be known as Buffy the Brain? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what you gonna do when you get older and all those looks in that ass start to sag? What you gonna do then? And she got heated, threw a CD at me, cursed me out, but that was a great interview.
Of course, because you elicited that type of response, and people, it's like people love the red meat, man.
Absolutely. I having T-Pain on my show. That's a pause. After having T-Pain on the show and making T-Pain sing live is when he first started.
Right.
No auto-tune. He was terrible. And telling him he was whack. That shit was everywhere. He wanted to fight me for that shit.
Now, we spoke about it earlier, man, but how do you get comfortable being on air with people and telling them the hard, cold truth?
Because they human beings like I'm a human being.
But still,
you the same way, Combat Jack.
I think I'm still a little bit more. And I'm not putting any judgment on it, but I'm still trying to be a little bit more tactful. But you just raw, B.
Just have the conversation, because it's all just a conversation at the end of the day. It's just expressing your honest opinion. I'm free to say what I'm free to say, and you're free to defend it.
Of course.
Or tell me I'm wrong, or tell me I'm an idiot, tell me I'm an asshole, whatever.
Of course.
It don't even matter.
And you got to be comfortable with yourself to really invite that type of criticism to yourself.
Absolutely.
Cats call me fat, I'm fat. Cats call me old, I'm older.
Cats call me short.
Me ugly. I ain't always been ugly.
Cats call me short. They say I got skin discoloration. I got a list. So the fuck what? I can't do nothing about that.
Exactly. Now what are you learning from Wendy? Like you're in the best seat in the house.
I mean, like the one thing about Wendy that I always say, Wendy lives her truth,
right?
And that's the best way to be. Live your truth. When you live your truth and you speak on your truth, can't nobody use your truth against you. And that's just how she was. She just used to live her truth every day of her life on that radio. And the biggest lesson she taught me was you either gonna be of the industry or of the people. Because if you can't be of the industry and be of the people, because when you're of the industry, you start having these faux friends, these people that you think are your people in this
faux
game.
realities.
Yeah, and you don't speak the truth about them. You don't say, "Oh, that record was whack."
Right.
Oh, that was a bad look for them on television. Or what outfit was they wearing? Or that's some stupid shit they out here doing right now. You know, you're afraid to say that because you're of the industry.
Of course.
When you're of the people, you have the same conversations we have when these mics turn off. We have the same conversations we have in the barbershop. Same conversations we have in the street.
Water cooler
talk. So that's
and
how
when
she
you're
was.
of the people, you got more people supporting you.
Absolutely.
Regardless what's going on corporate wise or the whole nine, you got more people supporting
Industry
you.
can never blackball you when you got the power of the people.
So she's teaching you honesty.
Honesty, yeah.
And she's adding, I guess, onto what you have. She's adding the courage and the whole nine.
Absolutely, because she heard it. She heard it. She was like, you got that fearless factor. You got that fearless factor that I had. You know what I mean? Because she was enjoying listening to my stuff.
Right.
Who's this little dude in South Carolina? He need to be up here. You know, so that's exactly what she did. She brought me up here, put me under her wing, and taught me everything I needed to continue.
Now it's obvious what she's bringing to you, like in terms of like the legitimacy and the whole nine and the wider platform. What do you think she thought you were bringing to her?
Well, my role, as explained to me by her and Kevin Hunter, was to be the younger, straight male voice because she always was known for having gay guys in the room. So that's what my role.
She was a quote unquote fag hack.
Yeah.
No shots. No.
Did she invite Neil and Bob up there?
Neil and Bob, who's that?
Your friends?
Okay.
Oh man,
not my friend.
Now that was a pause. How the pause police giving out pauses? So
we got Charlamagne playing the pause.
So that's what it was. Like I was up there to be that role. It was a lot of things she just wasn't into no more. She was already knowing she was going to make that transition to television.
So you came into the picture as she was transitioning.
Absolutely.
And in a sense, she was kind of handing the baton to you.
Yeah, it's weird because I came in at a good time. It's like I came in when they had just started the VH1 show. So I was on that, and then
so now you're getting exposure to television.
Yeah, I was there when they got the call to do the Fox show. I was on the 6-week preview for the Fox show, and I was on like the first couple episodes of the actual show when it started. So it was just like just a good time.
So you get your taste of television. Now are you addicted to that? Like are you addicted to that?
Not as much as radio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love radio. Radio is what I do. I mean, I like TV now, but I still don't love it like I love radio. And
TV is a lot weird. The people in TV are a whole lot weirder than the people in radio, man.
They're about the same.
Really? You
they're
think
about
so?
The same. I mean, the people behind the scenes, like the executives and stuff, they're really regular people. Like I find myself hanging out with my cats from MTV, like my man Paul Ritchie and Darren and Ryan Ling. Like I actually hang out with them, and it's cool. Like they're actually more stable than some of these people in radio.
Now I listened to one interview you gave, and you said something about Steve Harvey. Were you working with him at some point?
Yeah, I worked with him at WBLS. I got much respect for Steve Harvey. I mean, he's a hustler.
Steve's got an empire.
Yeah, but when Wendy used to do afternoons and he used to do mornings, like he never used to wash his hands when he pee.
Now, doesn't that annoy you?
I mean, I don't know how I felt about it. I just knew I wasn't shaking his nigga hand. Right. I just, give him a pound, but he literally would never wash his hands.
I'm about to start tweet picking people that don't wash their hands.
or clip their fingernails.
No, clipping fingernails is one thing.
Yeah, but
being in the bathroom, to me, that's insulting because you don't give a fuck about humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just touch your shit, you just wipe your ass, and you out here like hugging people.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on that, and it's, once again, there's no shots of Steve Harvey, but when you're on that level, everybody's kissing your hand.
That might be good luck for him, though, not washing his hands.
I'll tell you one thing, I better start doing that shit.
No, don't do that.
Listen, maybe I can make it somehow. Either that or I got to borrow some money from Just Blaze.
Well, where's Just Blaze?
I hope he comes soon because I'm asking for $500 this week.
500 is too low.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is a strap week. Like really, I want to ask Just Blaze for like a grant. You know what I mean? Like about 100,000. And I was figuring that if he bought the show, then you know what I mean. Then
Just Blaze and friends.
Yeah,
right?
Just Blaze and friends. But to be honest with you, right now I just want to ask him for 500. You know what I'm
Blaze
saying?
got it. Just Blaze definitely
got it, man. So, what were some of the most memorable things that you witnessed? If you were to sum up two things that you witnessed while you were under the tutelage of Wendy Williamson, what would that be?
Two things. Two things I witnessed. I don't know, man. Every day up there was experience. You know what? The craziest thing that I experienced was how even though she was an iconic radio personality who used to bring so much ratings and revenue to WBLS, they still would front on her, would still try to talk down on her. I don't know if it was because she was a woman or what, but and she never used to play that shit. I remember her telling the GM of the company one time, I will fucking snatch your balls off and use them as dice.
She had no fear.
No fear. Like, that was her on and off the mic.
Right.
You know, I mean, even for her to walk away from the situation at BLS. You know, she was ready to walk. She walked away before they even had renewed her television show and said, yo, I don't
need this.
Yeah, she was like, fuck it. Like,
That's
she always stepped out on faith. That was her thing. She was the type of person who would always, you know, step out on faith. Even if she didn't see the rest of the staircase, she would take that one step.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man, but from kind of like the outside looking in, it seems like the black voice in all forms of media in this day and age has been completely marginalized. There's certain things that we're quote unquote allowed to speak of, and there's a whole lot of shit that we can't speak of. Have you found yourself in that position where cats have been trying to, in a sense, internally censor you or marginalize what you say? Nah,
never that. I just think that it's. I mean, I have different opinions on different things. I think sometimes we pick and choose the wrong battles. Like, you know, I think that when I see a lot of these guys being so homophobic, it's like, for what? Like, yeah, that's not a battle to fight. Like, let them people live their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think we pick and choose the wrong battles. I think that we're always picking and choosing things that don't pertain to us when we need to be getting at us for some of the dumb shit we do.
Of course.
You know, like, we the ones out here killing each other 100 miles per hour in these streets.
And selling poisons to each other.
Yeah. We don't even police ourselves. Right. We all trying to police everybody else, but we don't police ourselves.
So is that where you're coming from, man, in a sense? Like, are you from where you stand, do you feel that you have a responsibility to uplift the greater population?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm the type of person I always say, man, you got to put the medicine within the candy. Like, I always feel like with great power comes great responsibility. And I remember, you know, I'm not gonna say I believe in like psychics and mediums and stuff, but I remember meeting a medium back in 2006, and it was just weird. This dude name was Tanner Hoy, and I think I've been on Wendy's show for like a week. This dude runs up on me. He's like, yo, what do you do? I'm like, yo, who are you? He's like, I'm Tanner Hoy, I'm a medium. So he's like, what do you do? I'm like, well, you tell me. You the medium. You know? And he goes, yo, I don't know, man. He goes, yo, I just want to tell you, man, I see, like, you know, a microphone, and I see Howard Stern, and I just see it. I'm seeing all these different visions, whatever. He's like, I don't know what you do. I'm just here to tell you that when you get to a certain point, you're here to deliver a message. That's exactly what he told me. Straight like that. He said, when you get to, he said, success is going to come relatively easy for you. When you get to a certain point, you're here to deliver a message.
Nice.
And that always stuck with me. But I mean, just even on another note, it's just like, that's more fulfilling to me than anything. It's fulfilling to me to go talk to these kids in these schools. It's fulfilling to me to, you know, be talking to the interns at the station and, you know, help them try to do the things in their life now that's going to really, really help them in their life later. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more fulfilling for me to help people. And they always say, when you're trying to find your true purpose in life, it's going to come in service to others.
Right.
It's not going to have anything to do with you.
That's where the greater good comes from.
That's where the greater good comes from. So, yeah.
Let me ask you something. Are you making the interns get you anything for like breakfast or lunch?
Absolutely. Every morning.
See, I'm very proud of you because I
so
remember
you
there's
teach
a couple.
them and you punish them.
Now you know what?
Not punishing. That's your job.
But you're strict.
I was an intern.
Right.
If an intern doesn't get something for somebody, if they don't go out and get coffee and muffins and fucking heroes, then they'll never learn what it is when they get up there. Like, I really feel that way.
A lot of these interns now, they have a sense of privilege. They think a
lot of kids have a sense of privilege.
A lot of the kids got a sense of privilege. Like, they don't understand. Like, they think it's you're doing something degrading to them by saying, yo, I need you to go get this breakfast. I need you to go throw this away. I do little shit. Like, the trash can could be right here and throw this away from me. Straight like that.
Has there ever been a point where you've said something, go to bed, you wake up the next day, it's on World Star, and you're like, fuck, did I go? You've never felt that you've crossed the line?
Never.
Ever?
Never, ever.
Not even like, say, like with Little Mama. When everybody was like, yo, you made her cry, you was like a big bully.
You know, let's talk about that situation, right? I didn't make Little Mama cry. The thing with me and Little Mama was Little Mama knows I used to clown her on the radio.
Right.
So her whole thing was, like, when they was like, she wants to come to the show, Angela was like, well, you know Charlamagne clowns you. She's like, yeah, we're going to play the Dozens. I like the joke too, whatever. So I'm thinking Just Blaze
is in the house.
So I'm thinking we're going to clown and joke.
Can we get just a seat, please? What's up, sir? What's going on? Chilling, man.
I'm thinking we're going to clown and joke.
And you thought she came ready to play.
Yeah. Right. So I'm coming. I'm coming. Let's go. Blah, 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 boom. So she's throwing a couple back. Mine was just funnier. But then when Angeline started talking about, you know, her mom, God bless the dead, that's when the tears came. It wasn't because of the jokes.
Okay, so
Little Mama?
Yeah, Little Mama. Oh, man. So you've never felt like you crossed a line?
No.
Now, did you ever find yourself in a position where you felt that cats who were too thin-skinned or too just pussy were going to come and retaliate for some shit that you've said?
I mean, like anytime you take quote unquote shots, you should expect shots back. You know, you never know how somebody's going to react to something.
But shots verbally is one thing. But outside the booth, it's a whole other thing.
Nah, you can't necessarily say that because you never know how somebody's going to react to a situation. That's why I always say I deserve whatever I get, good or bad. You know, because you never know how somebody's going to react to a situation. I might say something verbally. Somebody else might respond verbally. Somebody else might say, I want to punch him in his fucking mouth.
Right, of course.
So, you know, you got to be able to...
And people play different. I remember we had Dream Hampton on the show a couple of months ago.
Love Dream.
And she was like, just because we talk the same talk, everybody plays different. So you don't know how somebody's going to respond.
Absolutely.
Now, this is the first time we're really having an in-depth conversation. But I was watching that clip of you a couple of months ago? Was it last? It was like
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. And that shit pissed me off, B, because here you are doing your job, and I understand people out there are sensitive, but when they try to attack you, man, I don't know what, that shit just pissed me the fuck off.
They're not sensitive, they're just haters.
It was very easy to put somebody in the category of haters. In a sense, people will say you're a hater. People will say that we're haters.
Well, they're going to hate on anybody that's doing something that they're not.
Hating. They're responding.
They're responding.
Now, was there a history with those dudes, or
I don't know those guys?
Just random.
Yeah, I don't know those guys. I think that came from a situation I was having. You know, with the whole Radio B situation. You know, I just put out that video where the Funkmaster Flex told the truth. So I think that was in retaliation to that. But I don't know. You know, it is what it is. Like,
but how'd you feel when you were going through that shit, man? Like, here you are going to work. You're going to work 5 a.m, and these motherfuckers are out there laying.
It didn't bother me. It was just another day. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, I'm always thankful for what didn't happen. I'm thankful he didn't have a bat and hit me in the back of the head. Exactly. I didn't have a gun and shoot me in the back of the head. So
you need me to send Vinny over there, Uncle Vinny?
Nah, I'm good. Okay. I got my Haitians. I got Zulu Nation. I'm good.
This man right here looks like he's your shooter, man.
Yeah, that's one of my Haitian homies. He built me for a long time.
What the fuck is going on here? Oh my God, man.
Oh, there you go.
See, this is why I'll never get a penny from this show, because I'll never understand what the fuck they're talking about.
But you know, it's funny. I just put the Can I Get a Drop t-shirts on sale today. You can pre-order them right now.
There you go.
Yeah, you go to ragstoriches.com. You can get the Can I Get a Drop t-shirts.
I had a question about that.
What do you have to say about people, though, that take it to the next level? Like, what do you have to say to people like what do you have to say about that?
You can't be bad about that, because just like Dream Hampton said, like, people play different. Like, that's just the way it is. When you put something out there, you have to expect something to come back. That's just the way the universe works. That's just the law of nature. So when you put something out there, you got to expect it to come back. You just don't know how it's going to come back.
Right.
So you just got to be prepared for everything.
And you're absolutely prepared. You're completely fearless.
Always.
You know, I'm going to admit, like, a couple of weeks ago, we went in on Papoose. And I went away and I came back, and it was just all types of 53 pages of
death threats
on fucking World Star. At first, I was kind of uncomfortable.
Yo, Erykah Badu said it the best, man. You know, these guys are artists and they sensitive about their shit. You know, you killed them.
Yeah,
like I mean, you were stating your honest opinion. That's how you felt. If I was an artist, I personally wouldn't get upset. I'd be like, yo, that's just that man's opinion.
Yeah, and I would imagine that when you hear criticism like that, you would take it home and you try to do something better than what you're putting out there.
Listen, my father always used to tell me, you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as they say you are. And that's how I live my life. Somebody give me a compliment, thank you. Somebody say something negative about me, thank you.
But it's funny because you could hear 100 compliments, and
that one negativity
is gonna fuck your day up, man.
I ignore it all.
There you go.
I don't take none of it in, honestly. I read it.
So you've never had your feelings hurt?
Nah, for what?
You're like a superhuman being, dude.
I'm not gonna say
he's a superhero.
I'm not gonna say superhuman, but like this is my philosophy on life. You have to pick and choose what you give a fuck about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my whole philosophy on life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to pick and choose what you give a fuck about. I tell people all the time, I don't give a fuck, and neither should you.
So what do you give a fuck about?
I give a fuck about my family. I give a fuck about my relationship with God. I give a fuck about my health. You know, I give a fuck about my friends. I give a fuck about my career.
Massage powers.
I love going to the spa. You know what I mean? Like, I give a fuck.
Now he's talking about the rub and tug.
You don't need to.
He's talking about that shit.
Listen.
That's what he's talking
about. Rub and tugs, they're good for you. Sometimes you have a bad week. You go there.
How often do you get rubbed and tugged?
You talking about the happy ending?
Yeah, happy ending.
No, I'm not talking about happy.
How many pumps?
Pumps.
Oh,
whoa,
man.
What's his count right now? What's his pause count?
Yeah, his pause. He's crazy. We're about to mute his mic.
Yo, let's go to a break. You're tuned into the Combat Jack Show, WWPNC.
Shit.
F.FM.
F your radio.
Tuned into the Combat Jack Show, www.pncradio.fm.
Fuck your radio.
And we are here with the infamous Charlamagne the God.
Yeah.
Charlamagne. I was listening to another interview of yours.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, no disrespect, but you once let your dog blow you?
Yeah, what happened?
Yo, Charlamagne, man.
I used to get high as hell. Like I used to smoke a lot of weed. So you know,
when was this, man?
This was like 90.
Doesn't matter when it was. What happened? It doesn't matter when it was.
I'm like 17. I'm high as hell. I'm sitting on my mama's couch. Got boxes on, wife beater. That's when I used to have this little brindle pit bull puppy. And it's just like 2 a.m. The dog comes over. I ain't realize my nuts hanging out my my boxes. So the dog started licking on my leg. Then he started licking on my balls. I'm like, I'm high. I'm like, get out of here. And he keep licking. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, it was ugly.
Yo. How far did it go?
I don't even know when he stopped. I fell asleep. Yeah, he licked me to sleep.
He skied it over that dog's face.
He licked me to sleep.
Now, I understand also that you are an admirer of porn.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite site, man?
I like Bang Brothers.
Bang Brothers.
What? Bang Brothers.
Somebody recently. What is it?
XNXX.com is the. Listen, I swear by it. One day I'm gonna make it up on that featured page.
Somebody told me Bang Brothers was fake though. I hurt my feelings, man.
Yeah, it's kind of fake. But have you heard of XNXX.com?
Nah.
Before you leave, write that shit down.
Listen to me. It's the best. It has the best video player, the best stories. It has over 40 categories.
For the stories.
It has over 40 categories.
What are some of the categories that you watch?
I like the retro. I like the retro.
I'm with him though. I like it for the stories.
Yeah, I like the stories.
Bang Brothers.
You watch porn for the.
Yeah, the fact that they was driving around in a van and they just it wasn't like porn stars. I thought they was really picking up regular chicks,
bros off the street.
Yeah, and turning them out.
Yeah, it's nice.
Dope.
I just watched one last night where the kid's going out with a girl. He went over to mother's house to pick up. He left something over there. Whatever. He went to go pick it up, and next thing you know, he was banging her out. And I was like,
that story's been told a lot of times.
Yeah, but
what was different about?
But
this?
be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Watching those type of porn, I've been watching this for years.
Yourself in that
watching that type of porn has made me make that shit actually come true. Like meaning, like it gave me courage to like take that
to
step.
go to your man's mom's house.
You know what I'm saying? Just tell the mom because this, like
you carried the step to one of your man's moms. Is that what it was?
Nah, I mean we can't.
I'm never inviting you to a family gathering.
I'm not gonna try to go after anybody's moms here. I mean, definitely not anyone's here, but I mean, listen.
If they weren't on the show.
Yeah.
Charlamagne, I just read last week in Complex that you guys are in every category in terms of ratings have beat out the competitor.
Absolutely.
Did you read that?
Well, yeah, we're either beating them or tied with them.
Right.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that, man?
That's what we came to do. You know what I mean? Like we didn't come to the Breakfast Club to be number 2. Like we wanted to be the number 1 urban morning show in the country, in New York and the country, and that's what we've accomplished. And it was an uphill battle. Like that first year, so that first 7-8 months was rough. But after everything started to level out, we really got into our groove, and now we're the number 1 hip hop morning show in New York City. Ratings just came out Monday again, too. Matter of fact, we're number 1.
Nice.
So thank you to all the listeners.
Nice. Now you've gotten into this celebrated battle with the big dog, Funk Master Flex. Now, did you know Funk Master Flex before?
Never.
You never knew him, so that kind of made this whole thing easier.
Absolutely.
And you basically set out to destroy him.
Nah, not really, because I never even thought about going at him. It was like the situation happened with Mr. C when he got caught with the tranny. He got caught getting head by the tranny.
Now, how do you feel about that situation?
Listen, he's 40-something years old. Get a room and a boyfriend.
Right.
He's 40-something years old.
Be responsible.
Be responsible. You don't need to be in the middle of the street, 14th Street in broad daylight, getting topped off by a tranny, a prostitute. Like, come on, you're a grown-ass man, dog. You Mr. C.
Yeah, you Mr. C. You're a legend.
You're a legend.
Yeah.
DJ producer for Big Daddy Kane. You discovered Biggie Smalls.
Exactly.
Like, come on. You should know better than that. So it's like, that's why I gave Mr. C Donkey Today. Donkey Today doesn't discriminate. You do something stupid. I've been Donkey Today a couple times for doing stupid shit. Yeah, I gave it to Envy Angela. It don't matter. We don't discriminate. So I gave it to C for that. And then Flex decided to step up and defend his man. Like,
now, what'd you think when he came at you so hard? Pause.
Pause. Definitely pause.
This was last year. This wasn't even this go around. This was last year. After I gave Mr. C Donkey Today, Flex came back that night. And he's like, yo, you want to take a shot this morning? Make sure you're ready to go to this party.
Yeah, but he was stupid.
I know people in that building. Yeah, I know people in that building. I know everything that moves in that building. So that next morning, I came back and gave him Donkey Today.
But you destroyed him.
I know. I just let him know that we can go there.
The wrestling line was a classic.
Flex Hogan.
And in a sense, like, and not saying that he was that tough, that perception, but in terms of the power that he's built in the mass, it was kind of like the first time Suge Knight got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And then I think even that week we started throwing shots at Flex just for the fuck of it. So.
But that goes back to me not being an industry person. Right. I don't have no artists.
Right.
I don't work at these labels. Right. I don't need them to play no records. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have.
You don't need anything.
I don't need anything from you.
Right.
So if you want to go, we can go.
So now this thing has dragged on to this year. What's going on?
It was done after that, right. And then it came back. With
so you thought?
So it came back with the whole Nicki Minaj situation. Right. You know when you know that situation happened with her at the Summer Jam concert. And then, you know, he was saying how he's going to destroy her career and I'm going to tear her down and I'm going to finish you. And then the very next day you moonwalking when you interview with her. That's corny.
It is corny.
That's some sucker shit.
Right. So
I called him on that. And then that's when everything went crazy.
Now, you've gone head to head with a lot of people, man. Do you think a lot of these cats that you've gone at respect you more for that?
I don't know. Probably hate me.
Right.
You know.
What are some of your industry relationships, man?
I mean, I got a couple. You know what I mean? A couple. Like Michael Kaiser, that's my guy. Because I'm the type of person, man. I watch how people treat other people, and I watch how people treat people that can't do nothing for them.
Right.
And I've seen him help a lot of people that can't do nothing for him. So he's a good guy in my book. You know, Swiss Beats is a real good person of mine.
Have you gone at Swiss?
No, never.
Okay.
Like Swiss helped me make my first really big check in this game.
How so?
I had an artist named Little Rue from South Carolina, and you know Swiss was feeling him, so Swiss was like, "Yo, bring him up here." And Swiss did some records with him, and then Swiss actually walked me into Asylum. That's when Joey was at Asylum,
right. So
he actually walked me into Asylum and got the ball rolling on Little Rue getting signed. You know, so I got nothing but respect for Swiss.
What's your relationship right now with Diddy?
I never had a relationship with Diddy.
So there's no relationship?
Nah, I respect him. He's definitely an icon, African-American icon, you know, an icon period, an American icon period. But I never had a relationship with him. And I still critique his music the same way I did, even though he's come to the show and he's called me and, you know, it wasn't really a threat. It was just more so, you're going to like Last Train to Paris.
Yeah, you're going to get on the train.
You're going to get on this train.
Right,
you know? You can't tell me you don't like 3 songs off Last Train to Paris. Diddy, I don't like 3 songs on Last Train to Paris.
What's up, Artie?
Sorry.
What's going on with Busta, man? Is that Saul? Is that
Never had an issue with him neither. Right. It was just more. I come from a fan's perspective, and he came at me for something that he said happened on Wendy Williams' show in 04. I wasn't even on Wendy Williams' show in 04. I wasn't there when Wendy Williams interviewed your baby mom and had your son on the radio. I wasn't even there. But I know he's upset because I put him in the freezer this year. I put him in the freezer. You know, we do a segment on the Breakfast Club where we put artists who are ice cold in the freezer. And my whole thing with Busta is Busta's a legend. But when he did that Chris Brown Look at Me Now record, dope verse, killed it. Everybody was on YouTube, you know, doing the verse. Right. But every verse after that, he kept trying to do that same flow. That, come on, Bust, you better than that.
Now Busta puzzles me, man, because I think, you know, throughout his career, he's been really incredible.
Absolutely.
And the intensity that he brings.
One of the greatest hip-hop performers ever.
He never lets up on the intensity that he brings to a project. But how would you analyze what's going on with him right now? Because it seems like he hasn't stopped, but the world has stopped in a sense fucking with him.
I like the King Tut record. I think that's a great record. I think he switched up his flow. He's not on that Chris Brown shit no more. But the problem with a lot of older artists is, and this is why guys like Jay and Nas are still successful, they're speaking about what's going on in their life right now at this moment. They're embracing the fact that they're older. They're talking about their kids. They're talking about their relationships.
Divorce record is crazy.
You still got all these grown ass boys in rap music. You got all these men that are older, but they still trying to rap like it's the 90s. Like they're still, you know, talking about hustling and
flipping keys and all that.
Come on, man. You 40-something years old. You grown. Tell me about what's going on in your life now.
Exactly.
Like my favorite MC of all time is Ghostface Killer. Ghostface always speaks about where he's at in his life now. Same thing with Pac. Pac was young, was speaking about everything that was going on in his life right now. Same thing with Kanye. Kanye speaks about what's going on in his life right now.
So once again, it comes back to that element of honesty.
It comes back to that element
that you don't
of honesty.
really see in this industry.
Hey, listen, music is an art form, and art is a reflection of life. If you're not reflecting where your life is at right now, then your art is whack. You know what I mean?
Now, you said a while ago that you wanted to sign the first gay rapper.
Yeah.
You still want to sign the first gay rapper?
You know what? I wanted to do it for all the wrong reasons. I wanted to do it because I thought it would be profitable. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, that's a whole community that's not being spoken of. But I always thought
in this industry.
Yeah, I always thought that it would be dope if you had a gay, but he got to be a thug though. He got to
be able to spit.
He got to be like
Pretty Thug.
He got to be like
Pretty Thug 3127.
Nah, he got to be like a hood dude. He got to be like he got to be like my man Mano or Flocka. He got to be one of them dudes people respect.
I will smack the shit out of you.
I'll smack the shit out you and butt fuck you, my nigga. Don't play with me. You know what I mean? He got to be like that. Yo! But more
and he wears Uggs.
But he got to be nice, though. He got to really be able to rap.
At the end of the day, you can't get around that.
What if he was nice, but he wasn't necessarily a thug? Because I feel like there's a dichotomy that doesn't really line up. Like being not to say you can't be a homosexual and be a thug, but I feel like most people who appreciate thug rap wouldn't appreciate it.
You're right.
Coming from the homosexual aspect.
You're right. I think the more important thing is that he got to be dope. It wouldn't matter if he was like Big Sean or Drake or one of those guys. He's got to be dope.
Right.
You know. But I just think for the respect aspect, because that's the whole thing with homophobia. People get upset because they feel like these guys act feminine.
Right.
So just for the respect aspect, he would have to be a tough guy, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
What is it about our culture, man? What is it about black culture, particularly now, man, that makes us so sensitive? I mean, you have other people that are truthful in other areas. You know, it seems like white people could say anything about each other, and feelings might get hurt, but it never really leaves. You know, that back. What is it about us, man, that makes us so sensitive?
We're the kings of fronting. Like we're the kings of fronting. We could be dead broke and still be dressing like we're millionaires. Like we're the kings of fronting. So whenever that facade or that image, when somebody pulls that curtain back and reveals the real you can't handle it. You know, we're just afraid to be ourselves.
And why is that though? But what promotes that fakeness in our culture that you really don't see elsewhere, man?
I mean, that's been prevalent. You listen to even the earliest rap records. You know, like you listen to what Big Bang Hank and them was talking about on Rapper's Delight. You know, like having the color TV to watch the Knicks play basketball and all that. You know, just and if you listen, it's that's always been prevalent. I think that's because rap music comes from a form of struggle.
Absolutely.
So when we have something that comes from struggle and people trying to get out of that struggle, a lot of times they like to you fake it until you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
You know what I mean? So you're portraying something that you don't have, but you aspire to have it.
It's like you're speaking things into fruition almost.
Exactly.
Everything we wanted. We willing it to be. That's what I think it was, and that's what I think it is actually.
What's next for you, man? You're doing TV. I see you doing a lot of TV.
Yeah, a lot.
You got a show for us?
You get a lot of that Viacom check, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I got 4 more shows on the horizon. Like we got Guy Code season 2 that's out now. Highest rated show in MTV2 history.
Nice.
Doing great.
Nice.
You know, got season 3 of that coming. I don't even know I can speak on a lot of the stuff that's coming, but yeah, it's like I got like 4 more shows coming. You know what I mean? Lala shows coming back. Lala season, you know, her Full Court Life season 3. That's my homie, so I'll definitely be on that. But you know, I want to, man. You know, my ultimate. I want to do a late night talk show, man. I want to do that Arsenio thing.
Nice.
I feel like it hasn't
and
been.
I can see that, man.
Yeah, I feel like it hasn't been a lane for that since Arsenio. You know, I feel like I want to do that. That's my ultimate goal as far as television is concerned. To get that late night talk show look.
Nice. Well, I think that's going to happen, man. I definitely see that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Now, I understand you've talked about or tweeted about writing a self-help book.
I'm definitely doing that.
Is that in the works right now?
It's going to be a self-help manual. That's that. I've already sat down. I got the literary agent and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a
nice.
done
So
deal.
you're not stopping, B.
Nah.
You're not stopping.
I'm maximizing the moment.
Okay.
You never know how long you're going to be here.
Exactly.
You know?
Now, would you do some acting as well, or?
I'm doing that too. I do some plays now. I'm in a play called Platinos and Collard Greens.
Are you in that?
Yeah, it's an off-Broadway play.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been approached to do a couple movie roles.
Action roles, buddy cop.
It's a great. Listen. When I tell you something, real talk, it's a great movie that I pray this really happens. The director came up to me in L.A. and said that he think I would be great for the role.
Tyler Perry?
Nah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a hip hop historic movie.
Period piece.
A period piece about about one of the greatest ever. So if that goes down. Yeah, I'll be in a good space.
Nice. Well, keep us posted, man. Anything else you want to share with the internets, man?
Listen, man, I just want to tell everybody, live your truth, man. That's what I do every day of my life. I live my truth. When you live your truth, man, people can't use your truth against you. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to be what you are. And just always live your truth. That's what I tell people all the time.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming to the
Thank you for
Combat
having
Jack
me,
Show.
man.
Continued success, man.
Absolutely. And stay out. Come on, man. Lay off Papoose so hard, man.
Yo, what do you think about the tattoos, man? You seen the tattoos?
He's repping New York. He says he's the king of New York.
You like that?
He said listen.
That's hot?
Yeah, but we live in an era where Gucci Mane had an ice cream cone tattooed on his face. So I'm gonna knock Papoose for getting his burrow on his fingers.
You're telling me to back off Papoose?
No, I don't mean it like that. I felt everything you were saying,
right.
But like, because I struggle with Papoose too, because I like Pap as I like his content. You know what I mean? I love the fact that he stands on knowledge itself. I love the records like Law Library where he tries to teach people about the legal system. But I'm the same way. It's just something about his flow that just don't connect. Like. I always say if Papoose had Lil Wayne's delivery and flow, he'd be the greatest.
He'd be great.
He'd be the greatest.
And at the end of the day, I just want everybody to be great, including Papoose.
Yeah.
It's not personal.
I felt you on that. It's just something that don't...
Pause.
Even with all the great content that he has, it's just something that don't quite connect when it comes to his flow and delivery.
Exactly. Internet's Charlamagne the God.
Yeah.
So Pete, man, we about to wrap up, man. You got anything you want to talk about?
Oh man, I just thanks for Charlamagne coming by, man. I mean, I really like.
I need Woolers next time, Pete.
Hell no. I relate to this dude right here because I think that he's what's missing a lot from the game. What I mean by that is people keep it real. You know what I mean? People want to, like, you always feel that people are paid to keep it to a certain point of level.
Right.
And I feel like I relate to him a lot. You know, I like Andrew Dice Clay to me was always somebody that just came out and did that. Howard Stern, you know, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor.
I went toe to toe with Dice Clay one time.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it's online. If you type it in, he was on Wendy's show. Me and him went at it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up, man.
Kevin Hunter probably got him in a yoke.
And I like
destroyed me.
I like the fact that Charlamagne, you're telling me there's no ceiling. Really, the ceiling is all in your mind.
Ceiling is absolutely the ceiling is your mind.
Okay.
Sky isn't the limit. You know, it's just the view. Like my man Swiss Beach say. Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Now, you had something you wanted to bring up with Just.
Oh yeah, but so we've been talking for the past episodes that you haven't been here.
I missed one episode.
So the most recent episode that you weren't here.
I missed. Yeah, all right.
When you were probably in Bangladesh or something,
I was in Thailand back.
Okay.
You was in Thailand?
You probably fencing in Thailand with like fucking Bill Gates.
No, it was Steve Wozniak actually.
Wow. Oh, okay. Wow. Damn. Well, we were talking about basically having you maybe give us a grant for the show, because I was like, yo, we need some money for this motherfucker. So I'm like, yo, how about this? How about we ask Just Blaze for like a $50,000 loan?
You went down from 100.
Yo, hold on. And then Combat was like, yo, why don't you just ask for a grant, because none of you motherfuckers are gonna pay that shit back. So I'm like, true, but like, yo, shit's been so bad. I'm like, yo, I need to ask Just Blaze for like $500 right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel.
Where does the money go?
Well, forget about the 500 for a second. We'll talk about that later.
For the show, what do we accomplish?
You buy the show, and then we just call it Just Blaze and Friends, and I get to pay all the petty cash, all the snacks I bought for 2 years, all the fucking muni meter, fees that I paid, man. I mean, listen,
needles.
Oh, so I get it. Yeah, I
mean, we're joking.
I know,
but we're not.
I know. It's truth in every joke.
No, but just at the end of the day, I'm still amazed that you're part of this, man.
You know,
because you're such a superstar. I mean, you're more famous than anybody in this fucking room.
Yo, but none of that doesn't mean.
Yeah,
nothing.
It doesn't mean shit.
No, you know why I'm gonna tell you why that means nothing? Because I spent the last 2 days depressed.
Depressed? Why are you depressed?
Because he really did spend that on drapes.
Word. That shit motivates me. You know the two verses that motivated me this year? Same Damn Time remix Diddy, and that Jay-Z 3 Kings verse. And I be saying the same shit when you hear Jay, like, I know he's telling the truth.
No, he's
telling the truth.
I can't fuck with his baby's room.
No, you can't.
When you say I used to drive the Beam when I can park in my own arena, that's real.
It's real. Her room.
You've been in the room.
I'm just saying, man. The drapes is real.
It's crazy.
See, you could have got the 100,000 from the room there. You could have just grabbed it out of something.
This reminds me of a story years ago when I was repping Derek Angeletti.
Right.
And I remember getting $1 million check for him, putting it in his hand.
Damn.
First time I seen $1 million.
Who gave you that $1 million?
Sony.
For the bad rapper?
Yeah, Crazy Cat Catalog.
Right. Okay.
Well, they gave him more, but first time I saw $1 million check.
Go ahead, Derek.
He's hanging out with Puff, but Puff started hanging out with Trump. So Trump is doing the same shit, crushing Puff's dreams.
Right.
And Puff gets in the studio like, I ain't shit. You motherfuckers ain't making me shit. And then Derek comes and barks at us like, y'all ain't shit. Yo, you punk ass boys, y'all ain't shit.
I'm going to the studio tonight and I'm yelling at everybody tonight.
At the end of the day, I realized, man, you just gotta be happy where you are, man.
Oh, no, definitely.
Absolutely.
You gotta be happy where you are. Yo, it's time.
That's
time.
it?
Man, I mean, you got any sign-outs? I mean, shout-outs?
Shout-outs, you know what I do every week. Shout out to Preezy the Kid. Shout out to LOYC. Everybody at PleaseDon'tStare.com.
Okay.
Shout out Bobby Life for Real. He's having a big event this Saturday. That's about it.
Yo, man, just shout out to them drapes, son.
Yo, just forget about the drapes for a second. Are you gonna maybe even think about giving us some money?
Oh yeah, shout out to Just Blaze. You know.
No, like what I'm trying to
get
say.
back in there and snag with them drapes on.
Just get the hanger. Just get the shit to hang on.
Just get the ride.
Like we need a grant just to like maybe we get like a tour bus. You could have like a
No, you know what? I did that before. I did the tour bus thing.
Okay.
I don't want to do it.
You're not about that tour life.
It's just the expense. At first, you look at the numbers, you're like, oh, I can afford this. Then you start realizing you got to pay for the gas every day. Got to pay for the driver. You got to pay for the laundry to wash all the sheets and the pillows and everything on the bus.
Yeah.
You got to pay for the bus wash. After a while, you're like, nah.
No, so we get like a van.
These are expenses we don't understand.
You can get the Scooby-Doo mystery machine.
We got to work it out. We got to work it out. Hey, King.
Yo, man, shout out to Charlamagne the God. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you, bro. Love.
Honor and a pleasure. Shout out to the whole team, man. I mean, we moving.
Yo, that's amazing. This is the first time you ever pronounced his name correctly. He's been chopping.
What you call it, Charlamagne?
Charlamagne. And I see the guy. I see the guy. Yo, Charlamagne, once again, man, thanks for coming through,
thank
man.
y'all, man.
Premium.
Yo, he's having you having a pilot with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles you were talking about with Neo?
Yeah, me.
You think Combat could join that with you?
Oh shit!
We probably get a role for Combat.
He could be Splinter.
Neo.
He could be Splinter or the Robot Turtle. You could be a Robot Turtle. They had a robot.
We doing a live action version of the Ninja Turtles. Me, Neo, Jeezy, and Jadakiss.
Oh, word, get at me, man.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You got it.
Yeah.
Get at me. Internets, you know what it is, man. Dream them dreams and man up, then live them dreams. Because a life without dreams is black and white, and the universe flows in technicolor, surround sound. Loud.
Get your tattoos.
Tattoos.
Illuminati!
www.pncradio.fm